Welcome back. All right, an 11-game review, but it involved over 12 hours of watching hockey today. And it looks like it's going to be similar tomorrow. So, you know, it's one of those things. I just keep telling myself 3 weeks from now, it's the playoffs, and it just all gets this doesn't happen as of 3 weeks from now. All right, so starting things off with Buffalo and Philadelphia, the game that happened probably like yesterday. Luukkonen versus Ersson. This is why I take notes, because I would not remember this game. Early press by the Flyers. The Sabres press at 3 minutes. Power has a screenshot turned aside, and at 5:26, Michkov wires one on a 2-on-1 rush. Konechny and Zamula with the assist. And the funny thing is, when he scored that, my first thought was, TOR-LA would have benched him for that. Then at 5:56, Pelche on a cross-ice pass puts one in. It's also on the rush. Tippett and Paling with the assists. So 2-0 Philadelphia early in the first. Shots are 4 apiece at 9 minutes. The Flyers press with 9.5 minutes left. And then at 10:57, Quinn buries one from the slot, 5-hole, to get Buffalo on the board. Peterka and McLeod with the assists. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That becomes a minute and 2 seconds. A 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off. Forrester fires one high on a rush. Things get pushy at the horn. It's 2-1 Philadelphia after one. Second period, Flyers press at a minute and a half, and at a minute and 41 seconds on a turnover, the Sabres score one tic-tac-toe. Peterka finishes it. Quinn and Krebs with the assists. Sabres press at 4 minutes. Teams trade rushes. We get a power play for the Sabres, and they score on it. At 8:13, Quinn buries one. This one's from the slot too. McLeod and Power with the assists. It's a 3-2 lead for Buffalo. Sabres press at 4 minutes. Teams trade rushes. We then get a power play for... I already said that. I'm tired. Flyers look to respond, and they do. At 10:35, Michkov backhands one top shelf on a net drive. Konechny with the assist. And then at 14:11, the Flyers get their lead back as Cates gets one on a turnover. This one's from the slot. Forrester with the assist. Both of these teams are suspect defensively. A lot of prime chances both ways in this one. Flyers press with 2.5 minutes left, and they're up 4-3 after the second period of play. Third period, early press by the Sabres. There's a shoulder save on Sanheim from in close, and that's the only shot on net in that third period at 4 minutes. We then get a power play for the Flyers, and at 6:39, it's a cross-ice pass and buried. Tippett gets his 20th of the season. Lexell and Drysdale with the assists. Shots are 7-3 Flyers at the half, and at 10:13, Forrester rifles one in on a rush. Brink and Cates with the assists. The Flyers then draw a power play, and at 15:05, Tuck roofs one on a turnover rush. McLeod with the assist, so that makes the score 6-4. And then at 15:34, Paling buries a cross-ice pass. Cates passed it over to him. That power play marker makes it 7-4. That's your final score in this one. The Flyers 30-36-9 with the win. The Buffalo Sabres 30-36-6 with the loss. Shots on net, 12-6 Philly in the first, 8-7 Philly in the second, 12-8 Philly in the third. Flyers outshoot Buffalo 32-21 in this one. Power plays. Philadelphia goes 2 for 3. That's good. Their power play's been a problem. Buffalo 1 for 2. The hits 15-11 for Philadelphia. Luukkonen saves 25 out of 32. Ersson 17 saves on 21 shots. The Flyers are finally getting themselves some goals, and they're fun to watch. All right, next up, the Islanders in Tampa. Sorokin versus Johansson. They had a nice ceremony before this for Ryan McDonough playing his 1,000th game. 2 minutes and 2 seconds in, Kucherov wires one on a net drive. Hedman and Gensel with the assists. Cirelli then fires one wide on a 3-on-2. The shots are 5-1 Islanders at 6 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. And then at 7:31, Perbix scores. This one still, last time I looked, shows as unassisted. I'm not sure why. It's posted in from the right circle. It's the third shot, and it was passed over to him by Gord. Gord got the puck from Kucherov. I even put those assists on the board, and they kept it as unassisted. I'm like, fine. It's going to get changed, though, I think. Anyways, the Islanders press to respond. Things get pushed and hold by Johansson. Bolts press with 9.5 minutes left. Shots are 8-4 for the Islanders with 6 minutes left. Kucherov's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. And then at 17:57, point scores from McDonough and Kucherov. So the Islanders again press to respond, but it's still 3-0 Tampa after one. Second period, shots are 2-0 for the Islanders at 2 minutes. The Islanders press at 2.5 minutes. Kucherov has a one-timer. That's held. We get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. And Johansson, fantastic to that point. He saved 6 shots during that power play. Engvall has a chance afterwards. That's held. Shots are 8-3 for the Islanders at 8 minutes. Gensel has a net drive chance that's held. The Bolts press at 9.5 minutes. Lee's denied on a net drive. The Islanders press with 6 minutes left. Palmieri can't bury one from in close. The Bolts press in the final minute, and they score. At 1943 point, there was a delayed penalty on the Islanders. Point scores on a tic-tac-toe play during that delayed call. Kucherov and Hagel with the assists. It's 4-0 Tampa after 2. Third period, there's an early chance for Kucherov that's held. And then Bjorkstrand to Gonsalves, there's a near miss at the net. Then there was a post for Kyle McLean on a rush. Things get scrummy at 4:40. The Islanders come out of that with a power play, and they score on it. It is Pulock firing one from the point. Lee and Boquist with the assists at 5:58. And then at 7:47, Gatcomb puts one top shelf from the right circle. All of a sudden, we have a bit of a tight game at 4-2. And then at 8:47, D'Angelo buries a rebound. Siplikov and Pelech with the assists. Suddenly, the Islanders just down by 1. And, of course, the Islanders playing some desperate hockey because they need some points. Somebody's got to get that wild card spot. The Islanders then look to tie it. Tampa Bay presses with 5 minutes left. Gensel has a net drive chance that's held. Goalie pull happens with 2:20 left. Then Kucherov passed on an empty net goal. And I understand wanting to be selfless and pass it to your teammate. He needs to knock this off. Because then he did it again. Now, it worked this time, but it was almost picked off again. When you're only up by 1, get the empty netter. And if there's a player in between you and your teammate, maybe just get the empty netter. So Gensel gets the empty netter from Kucherov and Hedman at 1946. Tampa Bay wins this 5-3. They go to 43-25-5 with the win. With the loss, the Islanders 32-30-10 on the season. Shots on net favored the Islanders the whole way. 12-7 in the first, 15-11 in the second, 11-6 in the third. Final shots 38-24 for the Islanders. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 2. Tampa 0 for 0. They didn't have one, in other words. The hits 30-14 for the Islanders. Sorokin 19 saves on 23 shots. Desperately needs time off. Johansson 35 saves on 38 shots and was excellent in this one. All right, next up, St. Louis and Colorado. Binnington versus Blackwood. Early press by the Blues. There's a post for McKinnon on a fast break. Avs press at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 4-3 St. Louis at 4.5 minutes. The Blues then get some pressure 6.5 minutes in. Makar has a shot that's held as the Avs get some pressure. Then there's a delay of game call. Gives the Blues a power play. And they score on it. At 10:57, Bolduc buries a cross-ice pass. The assist to Thomas and Sundqvist. Schen's denied from the slot. And then at 12:09, McKinnon buries one from the side of the net. Taves with the assist. It's a 1-1 tie. Nichushkin couldn't bury one in close. Things get pushed in a hole by Blackwood. The Avs press in the final minute. It stays 1-1 after 1. Second period, the Blues press at 2.5 minutes. A Kelly hit on Tucker draws some cheers from the Avs faithful. Shots are 2 apiece at 4 minutes. The Avs press 5 minutes in. The Blues get pinned down, but they block the path to the net. What I'm impressed with during this St. Louis run is they're completely unflappable. A lot of one and done follows that. Wood has a rush chance that deflects wide. Colton fires one high on a turnover. The Avs press with 7.5 minutes left. There's a post for O'Connor. Then the rebound's cleared. Teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. The Avs press with 1.5 left. And again, the Blues do a pretty good job of blocking out the path to the net. It's still 1-1 after 2. Third period, early press by Colorado. Woods denied on a face-off win. We get a power play for the Blues. That's killed off. 5.5 minutes in, the shots are 5-3 Colorado. Blues go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Drouin's denied as the Avs press. And then at 8:54, Buchnevich buries a rebound from the doorstep. Suter with the assist. St. Louis all of a sudden with a 2-1 lead in this game. Avs look to respond. The Blues go back to the power play. Bolduc's denied. Blackwood holds. Power play's killed off. The fans call one. The referee does not. The Avs press with 4.5 minutes left. McKinnon has a one-timer that's held. The goalie pull happens with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Colorado's not able to tie this. St. Louis wins their 9th in a row. They win this one 2-1. They go to 40, 28, and 7. The chess magnets on the board because 3 goals in this one, the same as the 80s magnets on the board for the first game. The Colorado Avalanche dropped to 45, 26, and 3 with the loss, and with everything else going on, they're now pretty much locked into that third spot. Shots on net, 11 apiece in the first, 7-3 Colorado in the second, 13-11 St. Louis in the third. I can hear Blues fans saying, unless we catch them. Then the shots overall 29-27 for Colorado. Power play St. Louis 1 for 4, Colorado 0 for 1. The hits 30-25 St. Louis. Binnington 28 saves on 29 shots. Blackwood 25 saves on 27 shots. It was quite the goaltending matchup. All right, next up. New Jersey and Minnesota, two teams that have had their struggles, so it made for an interesting game. Markstrom versus Gustafsson, and 29 seconds in, Hischier opens the scoring for New Jersey, bearing a rebound. The assist to Bratt and Nason. Devils look for another. Meyer has a slot shot that's blocked out. Brazeau fires one wide on a 2-on-1 rush, and then at 5:46, Cotter buries one from a sharp angle. The assist to Foote and Dumoulin, and it just went through Gustafsson into the net. It's a 2-0 lead for New Jersey. Devils press for another. In fact, the shots are 10-3 New Jersey with 9 minutes left. Palat's denied and close. Gustafsson holds. The Wild press with 4 minutes left, and at 16:31, Foligno tips in a point shot to get Minnesota on the board. The assist to Spurgeon and Nyquist. Wild press with 2 minutes left with 4 seconds left. The Wild had drawn a power play, it looked like, and no, it ends up being a 4-on-4. So it's 2-1 New Jersey after one. Second period, Markstrom gets shaken up. He stays in, though. The Wild resume pressing after that's done, but the shots are 5-3 New Jersey, 3.5 minutes in. Devils press at 5.5 minutes. Kovacevic had a fight with Foligno. The emotions are kind of going up in this game. You can feel that these teams are fighting for playoff spots. There's more importance to these games, and it shows in the amount of physicality we're starting to see in these games. Power play for the Wild, that's killed off. There's more scrumminess going on at the benches as these two teams don't like each other very much. Shots are 7 apiece with 8.5 minutes left. Trennan has a net drive chance, that's held. Brazeau can't bury one in close. Mercer has a slot shot, that gets blocked. Devils press with 3 minutes left. Faber has a net feed, that's picked off, and then the Devils had a 3-on-1 that misfires. So after the second period, it's still 2-1 in favor of New Jersey. Third period, an early press by the Wild. Dowling has a turnover chance, that's held. The teams trade rushes, and then at 3:13, Hischier goes posting in on a rush to open the lead to 3-1 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. Devils look for another. In fact, the shots are 5-1 in favor of New Jersey 5 minutes in, but at 5:22, Hartman gets a rebound from in close to make it a closer score than that at 3-2. Merrill and Bogosian with the assists. I think it's because they kept showing Merrill on the New Jersey broadcast. I think that's what it was. When they weren't talking about Rachel Herzog's family being there to welcome her back, which I thought was a nice story too. I thought that was kind of nice. So congratulations to Rachel on, being the reporter for the New Jersey Devils and having her family in attendance. We get a power play for the Wild. That's killed off. Minnesota presses at the half. The Devils press with 8 minutes left. And then we get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. Nico Hischier puts it in off Gustafsson's skate. That's a hat-trick goal. That's at 14:50. Luke Hughes and Bratt with the assists. And then at 16:46, Tatar adds one. He scores from Palat and Dowling to make the final score in this one 5-2 for New Jersey. They go to 39-29-7 with the win. With the loss, Minnesota 41-28-5. They no longer have a lead over St. Louis in that wildcard spot. Shots on net, 10-7 New Jersey in the first, 12-11 Minnesota in the second, 12-5 New Jersey in the third. Final shots, 33-24 for the Devils. Power plays, New Jersey scored on the only one they had. Minnesota went 0 for 2. The hits, 29-24 in favor of Minnesota. Markstrom saves 22 out of 24. Gustafsson, 28 saves on 33 shots. Board number 2. Vegas and Nashville. So it's Hill versus Annunen. It was going to be Samsonov, and then it became Hill. So a net feed to Saad gets picked off. Pearson fires one wide. Puck's cleared out. There's a press by Nashville at 3 minutes. Stone's denied on a rush. The shots are 3 apiece at 6 minutes. Vegas presses at 7 minutes. Nashville gets some pressure halfway through. LaRue gets denied on a fast break. Sissons gets shaken up along the boards. He did get up. Shots are 8-7 Vegas with 4.5 minutes left. Forsberg has a rush chance that's held. There's some pushing after that, and there's more pushing at the horn. But what there isn't is goals in that first period. It's 0-0 going to the second. Nashville presses at 1.5 minutes. Korczak fires one wide as Vegas presses. The shots are 3-0 Nashville, 3.5 minutes in. We then get a power play for the Preds, and they score at 5:53. O'Reilly puts one. He deflects it in. Blankenberg and Forsberg with the assists, and that was a screen shot. So it's 1-0 Nashville. Nashville looks for another. We get a pad save on Haig as Vegas presses, and then at 8:26, Eichel ties the game from Theodore and Stone. So Eichel adds to his career high in points in a season. Dorofeev then has a wrister that's held. The Preds score. There's a goalie interference challenge, and yep, that goal comes off the board. Hannafin's denied from the slot. The puck's held. Bellows has a net feed that's picked off. There's a press by Nashville with 4 minutes left. Vegas gets some pressure with 1.5 minutes left. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period, Vegas presses at 1.5 minutes. Shots are 2 apiece at 4 minutes. Vegas then draws a power play, and at 6:25, Smith buries a loose puck behind Annunen for his first goal back with Vegas. Barbashev and Olofsson with the assist. So Olofsson got a point. He had some points in their last game too, and it's 2-1 Vegas. We get a press by Nashville at the half. Barron's denied on a fast break. Vegas presses with 6.5 minutes left. Vegas was defending really well late in this one. Goalie pull happens with 2:10 left. The Preds go offside with 57.3 seconds left. They also called a timeout, and at 19:16, Howden hits the empty net. Eichel and Theodore with the assists. Vegas wins this one 3-1. They go to 45-20-8 with the win. With the loss, Nashville 27-38-8 on the season. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first. 11-8 Vegas in the second, 9-7 Vegas in the third. Final shots 29-24 for Vegas. Both teams scored on the only power play they had in this game. The hits 31-19 Nashville. Hill saves 23 out of 24. Annunen saves 26 out of 29. All right, next up we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Ottawa Senators. Tarasov versus Ullmark. Early on, the fans call when the referee does not. The only shot on net belongs to Columbus 3 minutes in. Batherson has a rush chance that saved. Olivier then has a wrister that's kicked aside. Columbus presses at 7 minutes, but at 7:24, Gregg tips in a point shot to give Ottawa the lead. Chabot and Pinto with the assists, and that was only their second shot on net. But then at 7:55, Jenner ties it from Werenski and Matejchuk, and then Columbus presses for the lead. So it looked like it might turn crazy like the Canucks game. Sens press with 7 minutes left, and at 14:08, Batherson buries one on a rebound from the doorstep. Cousins and Zub with the assists, so it's a 2-1 lead for Ottawa. Sens press with 4 minutes left, with 3:11 left. Columbus gets a power play. That's killed off. It's 2-1 Ottawa after 1. Second period, the Sens press at 2.5 minutes. The fans call one. The referee does not. Ref wasn't listening to the fans tonight. Zub fires one high as the Senators press. The shots are 2-1 Columbus at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. And then at 9:15, Sanderson tips one in. It's a net feed that he tips in on a rush. Pinto and Gregg with the assists. Ottawa's got a 3-1 lead. Sens look for another. Ottawa goes back to the power play. That's killed off. Pinto fires one wide from the slot. Good forechecking by Ottawa. It's 3-1 Senators after 2. Third period, Pinto has a rush chance that saved. Amadio has a net drive that saved as well. Sens press at 3 minutes. Columbus gets pinned down, but they block the net. Shots are 4-2 Sens at 6 minutes. Senators press at 6.5 minutes. Columbus gets some pressure of their own 8 minutes in. Then that's post and out for Clevin. Clevin that close to a goal. Sens press at 9.5 minutes. Fantilli's denied on a 3-on-2 rush. And then at 11:02, this is a rush chance too. Marchenko buries one far side from the slot. The assist by Werenski. And so suddenly it's a 3-2 game. You got to watch Columbus in transition there. Columbus looks to tie it. Jenner nearly jams one in. Provorov's denied as Columbus presses. The goaltender pull happens with 2.5 minutes left with 7.4 seconds left. Columbus calls a timeout. It does not succeed. Ottawa wins this one 3-2. They go to 39-28-5 with the win. With the loss, Columbus 33-30-9 on the season. Shots on net, 12-8 Columbus in the first, 12-4 Ottawa in the second, 15-7 Columbus in the third. Final shots 31-27 for the Blue Jackets. Power plays, Columbus 0 for 1. Ottawa 0 for 2. The hits 23-22 for Ottawa. Tarasov 24 saves on 27 shots. Ullmark 29 saves on 31 shots. All right, next up. Toronto in LA against the Kings. Stolarz versus Kemper. Early jump for the Kings. Carlo then had a fight with Malott. So Malott just up from the AHL. I think this was the second game since the recall. He gets into a fight. Shots are 3-2 for LA, 6.5 minutes in. Matthews has a net feed. That's blocked. The Leafs press at the half. Carlo has a wrister that's blocked out. The Leafs press with 7 minutes left. McMahon then has a shot that's blockered aside. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. The Leafs press with 2 minutes left. It's scoreless after the first. Second period, early press by the Kings, and at 1:57, Laferriere buries one on a net drive. Dano with the assist, making it 1-0 LA. Kings press at 3.5 minutes. Matthews has a wraparound that's held. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. Kemper gets shaken up in a collision, but he's okay. He stays in the game. Shots are 5-3 Kings at 8.5 minutes. Byfield has a net drive that's blocked. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. Leafs press with 5 minutes left. Dano with a near miss on a rebound. Kempe's denied on a face-off win. Kings press with 2.5 minutes left. The Leafs press in the final minute, but it's 1-0 LA after 2. Third period. Kopitar's denied early on. We then get a power play drawn by the Kings at 24 seconds. The Leafs score. It's challenged for a high stick. It counts. Matthews apparently did not touch it above his shoulder. So Matthews gets the shorthanded goal from McCabe at 55 seconds. That makes it a 4-on-4. Then it becomes a 4-on-3 power play for Toronto. Everything gets killed off there. Really good kill by LA. Shots are 5-4 for the Kings at 7.5 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. It becomes a 4-on-3 for Toronto again. Tavares couldn't bury one in close, and then he did. From the side of the net, Tavares scores the power play marker. Matthews and Riley with the assists at 12:03. Kings press with 4 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. And at 18:35, Tavares hits the empty net from Marner. So the goalie pull happens again. Kings can't generate anything. And Toronto wins in LA 3-1. They lose in San Jose in a shootout. They win in LA. It's the most Toronto thing you can do. 44-25-4 is the record for Toronto. For LA, it's 40-23-9 on the season. Shots on net, 13-10 LA in the first, 14-7 LA in the second. Both teams had 9 shots in the third. Final shots, 36-26 LA. Power plays, Toronto 1 for 4, LA 0 for 3. The hits, 26-17 for Toronto. Stolarz, 35 saves on 36 shots. Excellent night for him. Kemper, 23 saves on 25 shots. All right, now, Boston and Detroit. I know everybody was excited about this one. Swayman versus Talbot. Peake has a hit on DeBrincat that leads to a fight between the two of them. Edvinsson has a net feed that's held, and then Watson has a fight with Lauko. So a little bit of fight going on in this from these teams that are probably pretty frustrated with how things have been going lately. Teams trade turnovers. The shots are 2-0 Boston at 4.5 minutes. And then at 5:37, Casper. It's a turnover. He scores, and you want to save there. Swayman just flat out missed it. It's 1-0 for Detroit. Wings press at 7 minutes. Brown can't bury one in close as the Bruins get some pressure. Shots are 7-5 Boston with 9 minutes left. Bruins press with 3.5 minutes left with 25.4 seconds left. The Wings get a power play. DeBrincat with a near miss on a buzzer beater, but it's 1-0 Detroit after 1. Second period. 53 seconds in during that power play that spanned the end of the first and start of the second, Detroit scores. Raymond with a one-timer from the left circle to make it 2-0. Sider and Kane with the assists. Boston then gets a power play, and they score on it at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Geekie tips in a net feed. Pasternak and Lowry with the assists. It's 2-1 for Detroit. Bruins then look to tie it. The shots are only one apiece at 4 minutes, meaning neither goaltender had made a save 4 minutes into the period. Brown fires one high on a 3-on-2 rush. Boston presses at the half. Yoki Haru has a shot that's blocker to side. The Wings press with 3 minutes left with 2:08 left. Detroit gets a power play. DeBrincat couldn't bury one in close. That power play's killed off. It stays 2-1 Detroit after 2. Third period. Early Wings power play. That's killed off. The Wings press after it's done. 6 minutes into the period, Detroit has the only shot on net. It was not a high-event game. The Wings press at 8.5 minutes. Lindholm fires one wide. The Wings clear. Bruins press with 8 minutes left. They don't have a shot. The shots are 5-0 Detroit with 6.5 minutes left. Pasternak then has a rush chance. That's held, so the Bruins would finally start getting some shots late in this. Goalie pull happens with 1:54 left. The Bruins call a timeout. Pasternak has a one-timer that's held. Middlestad is absolutely robbed. Talbot holds on again, and so does Detroit. They win this one 2-1. They go to 34-33-6. Keep their very faint playoff hopes alive. Boston 30-35-9 with the loss. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 8-7 Boston in the second, 6-4 Detroit in the third. Final shots 22-21 Detroit. Power plays, Boston scored on the only one they had. Detroit 1 for 3 on their power plays. The hits 39-38 Boston. Swayman saves 20 out of 22. Talbot saves 20 out of 21. How about board number 3? All right, Battle of Alberta time. So Calgary in Edmonton. Wolf versus Pickard. Early jump for Calgary. Sharon Govich has a net drive that's saved. We get a power play for Calgary, and then there was a fan that collapsed, and so the game stops as they're being helped, and they get the medical attention they need. To any fans that were booing because there was a stoppage of the game for a fan being in distress, like, why? I don't like. So if somebody drops during a game, the expectation is just drag him out. Just drag him out in the parking lot. Not our problem. Get the game rolling. Just so weird. So the teams were allowed to skate during that pause in the action. Eventually they do get back to it. The Oilers kill the penalty once the game resumes, and I felt like there was still just kind of a disjointed feel early on after that. Fans call one, the referee does not, and then at 4:32, Sharon Govich buries a rebound on the rush. Kadri and Pahal with the assists. The Flames look for another. In fact, the shots are 4-1 Calgary at 7.5 minutes. Flames press at 8.5 minutes. Things get pushy and punchy after a hit by Max Jones. The Oilers press with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for Edmonton. That's killed off. Draisaitl's denied via a 2-on-1 rush, but it is 1-0 Calgary after one. Second period. Early press by the Oilers. Rooney's denied. Pickard holds there. Shots are 4-2 Flames at 5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. Anderson has a chance that's blocked out. Bouchard has a rush chance that's defended. Podkolzin has a chance kicked aside. Vasily had a lot of chances tonight. Klapka's denied. Pickard holds there. Janmark fires one wide on a rush. He's just snake bit. The Flames press at the half. Draisaitl has a one-timer. That's blocked. Shots are 9-4 Calgary with 6.5 minutes left. And then at 16:20, Arvidsson buries a cross-ice pass. Draisaitl and Nurse with the assists. Game's tied at 1. Oilers press in the final minute. Farabee's denied on a breakaway. It's all punchy with 42.6 seconds left. The Flames come out of that with a power play. So that rolls over into the third period with the score tied at 1. The Oilers do finish the kill. One shot allowed. Hyman has a rush chance that's saved. Rooney then had a rush himself. That chance is held. Oilers press at 4 minutes. The shots are only 2-1 for the Oilers at 5 minutes. But at 7:53, Pahal wires one from the slot to give Calgary back the lead at 2-1. Kadri with the assist, so Kadri with a couple of helpers tonight. Oilers press to respond. Pospisil has a sharp angle shot. That's saved. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. Oilers press with 4.5 minutes left, and eventually they just had too many chances. At 16:47, Draisaitl goes far corner on a rush for his 50th of the season. Bouchard and Nurse with the assist. And Draisaitl, I will say that it was stated in one of these other games here, Draisaitl may end up being the only 50 goal scorer this year in the NHL. So we're tied at 2. We're going overtime. Oilers controlled early. Things get pushy on a hold by Pickard. And then at 2:25, Draisaitl with a wrister from a distance on a rush scores. Skinner with the assist. It is a 3-2 overtime win for the Oilers. They go to 42-26-5 with the win. With the overtime loss, Calgary 34-26-12 on the season. Shots on net, 7 apiece in the first, 12-9 Calgary in the second. 12-7 Edmonton in the third, 2-1 Calgary in the overtime, but Edmonton's shots, the one that matters. Final shots, 29-28 Edmonton. Power plays, Calgary 0 for 3. Edmonton 0 for 1. The hits, 19-18 for Calgary. Wolf, 26 saves on 29 shots. Pickard, 26 saves on 28 shots. All right, next game. Rangers in San Jose. Quick versus Georgiev. The Sharks press. They're kept to the outside. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. 5 minutes in, the shots are 6-1 for the Rangers. Pretty accurate. Rangers press at 7.5 minutes. New York Rangers score, but it's waved off for goalie interference. And it was pretty obvious. You can't leapfrog a goalie. Like, is that what Mika was trying to do? Like, Zibanejad was trying to... Anyways. Rangers press at the half, and then at 12:04, Panarin. He goes short side from the left circle. Schneider and Vakanainen with the assists. So 1-0 lead for the Rangers. And then at 13:58, Panarin gets a second of the period past a screen from the high slot. Borgen and Trocheck with the assists. It's 2-0 Rangers after 1. Second period, Trocheck has a blast that's turned aside. The Rangers press. Near miss for Othman there. Eventually, he's going to get his first goal. It has to happen. Smith has a rush chance that's held by Quick. Lafreniere can't bury one in close. And then at 4:48, Fox, one that looked like it hit the crossbar, but it's the back bar and out. Othman and Zibanejad with the assist there. So 3-0 lead for the New York Rangers. Shots are 5-4 Sharks at 8.5 minutes. The Rangers press at 9 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Then with 14.4 seconds left, the Sharks get a power play. Wenberg nearly gets a goal. He has a near miss from the slot before the period's done, but it's 3-0 Rangers after 2. Third period, Rangers finish the kill. Delandry is denied. The Rangers clear, and then at 3:08, Georgiev just misses this one with his glove. Tried to catch it, and it just went in. Brodzinski scores from Fox and Vakanainen, so Vakanainen with a couple of helpers tonight. Sharks press to respond. We get a power play for New York. That becomes 1 minute and 32 seconds of 4-on-4. And at 5:47, during the 4-on-4, Fox with his second goal of the game. He scores from JT Miller and Keandre Miller. And then everything's killed off after that. Shots are 4 apiece at 8 minutes. The Sharks press with 8.5 minutes left. More pressure by San Jose with 5.5 minutes left. Then with 3:31 left, the Sharks get a power play, and the Rangers score on it. At 16:53, Trocheck, a 2-on-1 rush leads to the goal. JT Miller with the assist. And then at 17:46, San Jose gets the power play goal. Cam Lund with his first NHL goal from Graf and Will Smith. The Rangers would press in the final minute because they wanted that no mercy magnet, and they get it. It's a 6-1 win for the Rangers. They are in the final playoff spot in the East right now. 35-32-7 is their record. The San Jose Sharks 20-43-9 on the season. Shots on net 14-5 Rangers in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 11-9 Rangers in the third. Final shots 33-22 for New York. Power plays Rangers 0 for 2, San Jose 1 for 3. The hits 20-14 Rangers. Quick saves 21 out of 22. Georgiev saves 27 out of 33. All right, last game of the day. Dallas and Seattle. Ottinger versus Decord. And 1:27 seconds in, Tolvanen scores for Seattle. McCann and Burakovsky with the assists. In fact, Dallas didn't look good for long stretches of this game. So the shots are 4-0 Seattle at 2.5 minutes. I don't know what to do. Dallas is like they're winning, but anyways. Montour has a rush chance that's saved. We get a power play for Seattle. That's killed off. The Kraken press after that's done. Shots are 9-3 Seattle with 8.5 minutes left. And at 11:50, Robertson deposits a rebound to make it a 1-1 tie. Bork and Steele with the assists. Kraken draw a power play. That's killed off. The Stars press with 3.5 minutes left. With 2:10 left, they get a power play due the Dallas Stars, and they score on a tic-tac-toe play. Hints from Robertson and Heiskanen at 18:24. It's 2-1 Dallas after 1. Second period. Early power play for the Kraken. That becomes 50 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Shots are 2-1 Dallas at 4.5 minutes. The Stars press at 6.5 minutes. The Kraken then get some pressure 8 minutes in. Kakko to Beniers, near miss there. Seattle presses with 7 minutes left. Lindell fires one wide from the slot. There's a delay game call, gives the Stars a power play. That's killed off. With 2:35 left, Dallas gets another power play. That's killed off as well. And Dallas still has a 2-1 lead after 2 periods of play. Third period, Dallas gets an early power play, and they score on it. 28 seconds in, Marchment goes short side from the right circle. Duchesne with the assist. It's a 3-1 lead for Dallas. Stars look for another. The Kraken press at 3.5 minutes. Shots are 3-1 Seattle, 4.5 minutes in. Power play for the Kraken. That's killed off. Seattle presses at 8.5 minutes. Rantanen has a net feed. That's held. Shots are 7-4 Seattle with 8 minutes left. And at 12:54, Wyatt Johnston scores his 29th of the season from Rantanen and Bischel. The goalie pull would happen with 4 minutes left. McCann has a chance that's held shortly thereafter. And then at 16:26, Rantanen hits the empty net from Hintz. Dallas wins this one 5-1. They go to 48-21-4 on the season. Seattle 31-37-6. They were eliminated from the playoffs, I think, last night. So yeah, their season's just, playing out the string. They outshot Dallas the whole way, and I thought they outplayed Dallas for large stretches here. 12-9 in the first, 11-6 in the second, 13-6 in the third. Final shots 36-21 for Seattle. Power plays, Dallas 2 for 4, Seattle 0 for 4. 2 for 5 for Dallas, 0 for 4 for Seattle. So many numbers. The hits 17-7 Seattle. Ottinger 35 saves on 36 shots. Decord 16 saves on 21 shots. It was a rough night for Joey Decord. All right, tomorrow we have 8 games tomorrow in the National Hockey League. The earliest starts at 10 a.m. my time. The last game starts at 7 p.m. my time. So it's all overlapping the same as today, although there's 3 fewer games. So 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the Montreal Canadiens in Florida against the Florida Panthers. Montreal, 33-30-9 overall. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. They're now 2 points back of that final playoff spot occupied by the Rangers. Florida, 44-25-5. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 1 point behind Toronto for first place, and they're tied, I should say, with Tampa Bay for second. So, yeah, the Atlantic is tight at the top. Then at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, we have 2 games starting then, beginning with Buffalo in Washington. And Buffalo's been kind of fun to watch. 30-36-6 record. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 11 points out of the playoffs currently. Whereas Washington, 47-15-9 overall. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They're 11 points ahead of Carolina in the race for the division. They're going to win. 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks in Winnipeg against the Jets. Vancouver needs a victory. They're 34-26-13 overall. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. They are now 6 points behind St. Louis for that final playoff spot. Winnipeg 50-19-4. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They are 4 points ahead of Dallas atop the division. That race in the Central probably going to go down to the last I would think the last week maybe of the season. Then at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, the Utah Hockey Club in Chicago against the Chicago Blackhawks. Utah 32-29-12 overall. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. They're 11 points out of a playoff spot. They're almost mathematically eliminated. Chicago 21-43-9. They are mathematically eliminated. They're 1-8-1 in their last 10. They're 36 points out of the playoffs. Then at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, we have the Ottawa Senators in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. Ottawa 39-28-5 overall. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 6 points ahead of the New York Rangers, so they're pretty solidly encased in that number one wildcard spot currently. Whereas Pittsburgh 29-34-11 overall. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. They are 8 points out of the playoffs currently. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific start as well between the New York Islanders and Carolina. Carolina, the home team here. Islanders 32-30-10 on the season, 3-4-3 in their last 10. They are 3 points out of the playoffs. Carolina 44-24-4. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they're 7 points ahead of New Jersey in that second spot. 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Anaheim Ducks. So Anaheim, the hosts here. Toronto 44-25-4 on the season, 6-3-1 in their last 10. They're 1 point ahead of Florida and Tampa. Anaheim 32-32-8 overall. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. They are 15 points out of a playoff spot. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. It is San Jose. It is LA. We'll see how this one goes. Sharks 20-43-9 overall. They're 4-6 in their last 10. 38 points, I should say, out of a playoff spot. They cannot have because they're mathematically eliminated. The Kings 40-23-9 overall. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They are now tied with Edmonton for second place. So this is their chance to get second place all to themselves. Or if you're an Oilers fan, you're cheering for the Sharks tomorrow. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, including your picks for the games tomorrow. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.